Hello, today's woman. Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the much anticipated webinar, Developing the Femalepreneur Mindset, of course, brought to you by today's woman. I'm so happy that you're here. Woo! My name is Joyce Daniels, and it's my joy, my privilege to be moderating today's session. I'm happy to announce that most of our speakers are already here, seated comfortably and sipping some water and green tea backstage, waiting to be, for lack of a better word, blessings to you. We want all our guests, all our participants today to be motivated, to be empowered, to be enlightened, to be reformed, and of course, all who will be watching the replay over and over again. We want to say welcome to you too. We are very aware that you are here with us. All we're going to ask of you is two things. Have an open mind, be ready to hear, listen, learn, relearn, unlearn, and number two, take action. Open mind to learn and be ready to take action based on the things you would hear. It is my honor and privilege to welcome our first speaker, but before I do mention her name, let me tell you just a little bit about her. I've been a, what's the word? Why do I use the word stalker? Or she's been my woman crush. You know how we say these things these days, woman crush Wednesday, woman crush every day. I say this because there are many women doing great things in the business world across the world, but not many are accessible. And not many have made a conscious effort to be reachable. Some are doing fantastic work, but nobody knows them or where they are. She has decided to break out of that mode to be accessible, reachable, touchable, palpable. She is the executive head, African Region, Marketing and Communications for Standard Bank Group. She's the founder of the Lighthouse Network. She's come a long way from her days in Virgin Group. She's worked in roles for women empowerment and social impact. She continues to show strength and tenacity to drive women moving forward. We believe that today she will be a motivation and a motivator to us all because she has a way of looking at things realistically and how we can own this phrase, work for it. You know, we always hear people say, women, work for it. She will tell us more about how we can work for it. It was her birthday yesterday, so we're still wishing her happy birthdays. Please welcome the author of the book, Pressure Cooker, Lessons from a Woman at Work. Welcome Ms. Nkiru Olumide-Ojo as she comes forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joyce, for that very elaborate introduction. I'm very honored. Thank you for the really kind words. And I often say myself, everywhere that I speak, that you never share learnings without learning yourself. So I'm looking forward to learning from my fellow panelists and also learning from the audience. So thank you, Joyce. May I hand over to you, or would you want me to go right into it? You tell me.
Please go right ahead into your discussion. Thank you.
Excellent. So Joyce, would you want me to go straight into it, or do you want to how would you want me to approach it? I'm happy to go straight into it if you'd like.
Yes, please just go straight into it, and we're happy to have it that way. Right,
fantastic. So thank you. I'd also like to thank TW, who's doing amazing stuff, Mrs. Obuekwe, who I've known for many, many years. I'd also like to celebrate her for all the work she's been doing since I was a child, to amplify, everything concerning female development and in a lot of times society in general. So thank you so much, Mrs. O. I celebrate you and the TW team. So we've been asked to speak this evening about the femalepreneur mindset. And obviously, every time you find any discussion female, I'm very ready and eager to jump into it. And I mean, I was on social media a few days ago and someone said to me, I'm so tired of these webinars and tired of these IG lives. And I thought, perhaps she is right. But the truth is, there is a lot of information out there, but there's still a lack of knowledge. And obviously what knowledge is gathering and harnessing all of that information and putting it to good use. So the first thing I'm going to challenge us with in terms of just having our mindset is to go in and dig and research for the right information. So I suppose it's what do you want to do? Are you a 9-to-5er? Are you seeking to own a business? I feel like the first things you need to do first is to go in and research. And I'm not talking anecdotal research where your neighbor or your mother's friend says. It's proper research. And if you are unable to hire a company, you can very well just get one or two people who understand how it works and ask them to please do research for you. And the reason I think that research is important is that once you're getting into the swimming pool, you can tell that, okay, this swimming pool is 2 feet high, it's 4 feet high, it's 6 feet high. So there is no compromise for research. There is a lot of information out there, but your role in terms of being a femalepreneur is to harness all that information so that it is useful knowledge for you. I know we were going to have a lady here who talks to so many females about how to get grants. There's so many opportunities lying around, but if you don't have the information, if you are bored from webinars and IG lives, you're not careful enough to know what to select, then obviously you are going to be missing the right shot. Now, the other thing I'd like to talk to us about is about self-leadership. There is indeed a lot of information out there. There's a lot of motivation. We get into church, we get it outside churches, outside mosques, all the social programs that we attend. But what I find is that people are soaking themselves in the motivation and not in the doing. Look, sometimes we feel like this thing is scientific and it's not. All we need to do first is to just do the basics. And I'm going to recommend that we each read 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Person. And I know people will be saying, I've read it, done that, but I'm going to challenge you to please go back in there and have another read. What you would find is that the secret of your success is in your daily habits. What are you doing with your time? Are you wanting to have the right femalepreneur mindset, but obviously you're spending your time on the inappropriate things, or not, you're not using your time in a valuable way? So self-discipline is so important, and is how do you apportion your time? Are you apportioning your time towards the things that drive you towards the goal, your goal? I found that a lot of things can be very distracting. I like to laugh as an example. So I'm constantly in pages and things that would give me, a great laugh, a great release. And then, one day I called myself to a roundtable meeting and I said, I'm losing time. And time, we all know, is irretrievable. So that's the second thing I believe I'm going to ask us to do. The third thing I'm going to ask us to do, and obviously this is before I hand over to Joyce, is I'm going to say to us that a mindset of a femalepreneur is one that is humble. And, I'm so tired of and I suppose the older you get, the more impatient you get with the inexpensive, unprogressive behavior of females. And I'll explain it. A female walks into a salon and she wouldn't say hello. She would speak to her hairdresser and sit at a corner and read her book. A man walks into the salon and he says hello to everyone. What's he thinking? He's thinking, let me just say hello. You never know. First of all, obviously, let me say hello from being a polite person. But secondly, let me say hello. You never know if the MD of the bank where I'm applying for a loan is. And they're often having that mindset of humility, a mindset to network, a mindset to engage. And the reason I like that the title is a femalepreneur mindset, you can actually be a 9-to-5er and have that sort of mindset as well. And it's a mindset of humility. And I feel like there's a bit of overmotivation going on. And what you would find is people who have little or no experience think very highly of themselves. And what that does is it precludes you from learning. It precludes you from learning. And the thing about not learning is you're not growing, you're not seeing new things, and you are therefore not developing yourself even further. So those are the sorts of things I feel like we need to pay attention to. Humility allows you learn. Humility allows you network. Humility allows you have, a teachable spirit. And I'm going to charge us, with these 3 things. Then I'm going to hand over to Joyce. And when I come through again, I'm going to give you 3 other things that I think are essential, just in terms of developing an entrepreneur mindset. So thanks, Joyce. I'm trying very hard not to hog your microphone. So I'm going to hand it over to you. And then when we come back, I'll do the rest of the tips. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Olumide-Ojo. Don't worry, my microphone is very safe. And in fact, I'm going to hand the microphone back to you because you've not hogged it enough.
Happy.
We can
conscious.
take the other 3. We are happy. We're enjoying the way it's just coming from you. So please, by all means, go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, okay, happiness. Right. So I think that now that I have the microphone again, I'm going to dwell on humility a bit more. And what you find is social media has allowed a lot of posturing. And what does posturing mean? Is people extending their personal brands and extending themselves to more than what they actually are. And whilst in principle, they say, which I don't believe, fake it until you mean it, I feel like there are different steps and different layers, and there is no shortcut to building experience. There's also no shortcut to building character. So I'm going to say invest a lot in your character, invest in being humble, invest in being teachable, I apologize most sincerely, invest in being humble, invest in being teachable, and all of these things would get you, into an entrepreneurial mindset. Another thing that I'm going to ask that we do is, I beg your pardon, I'm just going to shut this off. I didn't realize it wasn't shut off. I was so sure I was kosher. Another thing I'm going to ask us to do is invest in relationships. You cannot have or desire a femalepreneur mindset and you are transactional in your relationship. Look, relationship is a new currency. I say it all the time. Relationship is the new currency. And what am I saying? I'm saying that there will always be 2 people with the same level of experience. There will always be the same people with the same level of capabilities. And you will find that it's the one that has the right relationships. And I'm not saying nepotism. I'm saying it's the one that has the right mien, is the one that is friendlier, is the one that is more professional, that is going to be able to get an upper hand in whatever transaction. So the point is, invest in relationships before you need them. Don't be transactional. Don't be the one who calls people only when they need money or they need something or they need some attention or some connection. I was chatting to Tyra a few weeks ago about building relationships, and one of the tips she gave us was to segment your audience. And she said she had a long list where she has segmented the aunties, the friends, the people that must be checked on different. I'm not as great as she is, but I believe that because relationship, and I know that relationship is an important currency, I spend time, to build my relationships. Now, the other thing I'm going to speak about, and I talk about it in my book, are the things that preclude women from moving forward. The first thing I want to say to you is that sometimes nothing precludes us. We're just the ones standing in our own way. And how are we standing in our own way? We're standing in our own way with biases. We're standing in our own way with, one of my mentees who said to me, I'm like, yeah, you want this thing. Why don't you connect to Mr. Lagbaja? Like, oh, Mr. Lagbaja doesn't like me. I'm like, but Mr. Lagbaja is a very busy man. Mr. Lagbaja has a full life and a full business. Why do you think that all he has to do and dressed up in the morning is to think about you? So we need to get out of our own way, and is in not thinking too highly of ourselves, and is also in not thinking too lowly of ourselves. And people say to me, what do you mean by that? What I'm asking you for is a balance. And I'm going to just dwell on that a bit. A few days ago, Kanye West announced that he'll be president of the United States of America. Before him, there hadn't been any female. And I bet you that there are many females who are more qualified, who have public sector, private sector, financial experience, and everything experience, but they didn't dare. So when I say we think too little of ourselves, that's what I mean. I remember years ago trying to interview for a role, and the role required 10 years experience. And there was a young guy who came to me. He walked in. I don't know how his resume made it through, but he came and he had only a few years of experience, maybe 2 or 3. And he said to me, you know, Ma, I think that if you just consider me, I'm able to. I'm like, who's considering you between 3 and 10 years? What's going to happen to all that gap? And there's a lady who came from one of the old or foremost banks in Nigeria. And she sat down saying, you know, I've got 8 years experience, but I've got good experience. I know there's a gap. I'm like, wake up, girl. That guy has only 3 years and he thinks he's the best person for the role. So it's finding that balance between thinking too much of ourselves and thinking too little of ourselves. I think that's one of the things that preclude us from just moving forward. And if I move it also to the business lines, because I get, and in the course of my work and my previous roles, I would typically review proposals. You would ask people to come, through with proposals. You would find females who would have amazing proposals, and they're asking you for 2 million. And you find guys who have just basic or not airtight proposals, and they're asking you for 15. And I feel like women, we need courage, and you're going to need courage to start, courage to keep going, courage to get up when you fall, because that's something that's going to happen to you, because this is real life. So courage is the very next thing that I believe that we need as women. And I'm sure in the course of today, we're going to be speaking a bit more about how we build up that courage, because it's an essential piece of being a femalepreneur. I'm going to hand over to Joyce now. And then when we come back, I'll do the rest of the rounds. Thank you. And cheers, Joyce, just handing over to you.
Wow. Ms. Olumide-Ojo, my note is literally full. I can show you. I've been writing. Thank you so much. And like I said, one thing I've known about is you're so real. You're not trying to make it sound nice or sound good. We can't keep shortchanging ourselves by our biases and by not having enough courage or being just transactional. Say hello to you only when I need you because I'm whatever. Thank you. And I know that the women who are watching now and those who will watch later will be grateful to you for sharing from your heart and your experience. Thank you so much. Thank you. We can't wait for the Q&A session. I know that there's wonderful questions.
Looking forward. I'll just stay mute and wait for you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. To all our wonderful women and men who are watching this session, do well to use the comment section. Write your comments in there. If you're following, please give hand clap, give thumbs up, say I agree with you, but hold your questions till the Q&A session so that at that time, all our speakers will come together and deal with the questions as a group. I know that that we keep shining the light on what to do. She mentioned some things not to do. Stop being precluded by biases. Stop letting biases hold us back. This person doesn't like me. This person doesn't like my face. This person feels I am a... And we need the courage to ask for what we really want. Many of us really want to ask for it, but we're like, when they think I'm greedy. So I'm so happy to be reminded we ought to do what we ought to do. Please let me see your hands. Give a round of applause to Ms. Olumide-Ojo. Now, enlightening us is a brand queen. Our next speaker is a brand queen. She is the Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder of Platform Branding Company, which is an award-winning integrated marketing communications agency. She has worked with many women across the world to develop their personal brands. Personal brand is such a big topic right now, and I want all of us to really listen and take in and prepare our questions so that we don't fall short of the knowledge that we should get from her today. She works with women to create strategies to build their brands using the knowledge that they possess or the knowledge that they can possess. She shows you how to get the right knowledge for the development of your brand. She has wealth of experience understanding the female mind, and in turn shows us how to use our peculiar feminine way of thinking to translate to branding and business. She is a business, branding, and marketing strategist. She's the one you need to win in your career and your business. Ladies and gentlemen, femalepreneurs, let's together welcome Uju Obuekwe.
Hi,
Welcome.
Joyce.
Hi, good to have you.
I am so glad
bright
for the
as always.
opportunity to be with everyone today. Thank you, today's woman. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Ms. AO, for having me.
Thank you, Uju. The floor is yours. Please go ahead. We are hungry to hear and learn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, ladies, wherever you're dialing in from, as I said, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be with everyone today. So today we're just going to talk about how you can win in life, how you can build that standout brand that helps you, whether you're a professional, a career person, a service-owned business, a business owner, entrepreneur. If you're a female, this session is for you. So basically, I'm going to talk about how to use 4 main principles in order to build your standout brand that can help you monetize your expertise, that can help you move to the next level. In today's world, we know that you can't be a secret and be successful. We're talking about coronavirus. Everybody is almost living in a virtual world. So how do you still build out your standout brand in that virtual world? So I'm going to talk about 4 C's, which include character, content, credibility, and then your connection. These are your 4 building blocks to build out that standout brand. So the first thing I want to talk about is your character. Like the previous speaker said, Ms. Nkiru, she talked about being courageous as a woman. Now, I want women to think about it. What is your passion? What is your purpose? What are your values? You need to define them, because in any interaction you're having with people in real life, they want to know what you stand for. And you're not able to do that if you haven't defined it for yourself. Let me tell you a story. There was a time when my last son, I think, was going into secondary school. And we went to do this normal interviews or tests that you have in schools. And I went with a friend of mine whose son, she's petite, and her son is really petite as well. And when she got to the school, she was like, I don't know if I like this school. It's too strict, it's too this. And so they were taking us around the school. And as they were taking us around the school, they were explaining the do's and don'ts. And she turned to me and she said, Uju, I don't think I like this school. And I was like, why don't you like it? She was like, they're too strict, they're too. And by this time, our children had gone into the class and started taking the exam. And she was like, I don't think I like the school. I'm going to pull him out. And the school told us that you cannot take your child out of an exam until they finish. So she went up to them and said, my son needs to leave this school. And they were like, oh, he's in the middle of writing his exam. And my friend changed in front of my eyes. She became this tigress, as tiny as she is. She was like, if you don't open this gate, she was, look, have you ever seen a woman trying to save her baby from a moving vehicle? There's no greater power. That's the passion women have to bring to their business. The passion you have to bring to life. When you bring that passion, it changes everything. It changes things for your business. It changes things for your life. Dr. Dwayne Dyer says that without passion, you're like a balloon without air. So women, bring that passion that you bring to your, when you're thinking about your kids, if people can mess with you normally, they know that they cannot mess with your child, and so bring that passion to life, get a renewed zest for life, what's the purpose that you're made for? Everybody has it. You know, when you tap into that purpose, you're unstoppable. People will be like, who is this person? You grab attention. People cannot take their eyes off you. And this translates whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're starting a business. You know, I want women to tap into this energy that we have, this passion that we bring to life. So I want you to check, what are your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Even your weaknesses can actually be your strengths if you turn it around. What are your values? What did you come to Ets to do? There's so many people who haven't actually gone through the steps of, you know, distilling what that is. When you distill it, for example, my value is integrity, and which means that in anything I do, I go the extra mile to make sure that, you know, that translates. And if you want to be known for your values, you have to find out, well, how do people see you now? If people don't see you as the things that you think they should, you can turn around. Look, in the past, it used to be that we were always more concerned about our reputation, right? But your reputation sometimes happens afterwards. It's what, like I would describe it as what, you know, happens to you, while branding is what you make happen. So branding is more deliberate, it's more strategic. Reputation is, you know, like somehow reactive, so after the fact. So but when you're trying to craft your brand, you start from day one and you look and say, look, this is what I stand for. This is my purpose. This is my mission. This is my value. For example, if I myself, I love to help people achieve their potential, right? And so when someone isn't achieving their potential and they know they need help, I become a good match for the person because I love helping people achieve their potential. And someone might be there thinking, I don't know what my potential is. I don't know if I have any skills. Look, we all have skills. We have a story. Our differentiator is ourselves. We have a story to tell, our unique stories, and we can bring that story to the table. Now, the second C that I want to talk about is content. When you decide what you stand for, then you have to let the whole world know, what is this thing that you stand for? What niche do you occupy? Then you have to let us know through your writing, through your speaking, you know, because we're not able to evaluate what you stand for unless you put it, you know, you put your content out there for the whole world to see. I want to give an example of, I think Dr. Lanre Olushola, who's recently been accepted into the Forbes Council. And from what I know, it's a council that accepts people. You don't apply to join it. But he's been the catalyst. He's been a coach, a life coach and whatever. And every day he's teaching us everything he knows and all that. So he's putting out the content on social media and everything. And social media makes it easy because it's free. You know, you don't have the gatekeepers. Before, I remember one time I used to write anonymously for The Guardian. But there was a time in The Guardian newspaper when someone wrote to The Guardian and said, why is it that you guys don't publish anybody unless the person has a PhD or something? And then, well, thank God for the guy, because after that, I used to get published a few times in The Guardian, you know. And so we don't have the gatekeepers we used to have where people will now evaluate and see whether you're worthy to be published. Everybody can put their content out there. So go for it. Find that niche that you're an expert in. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be planting flowers. It could be, you know, growing a special type of plant or tree or fruit or whatever. It could be anything. Put your thoughts out there. You're a lawyer, you're a dentist, you're a doctor, you know. There's so many things. Now in the age of coronavirus, what's happening? All the people that we didn't know in the medical field, we know them now. Lab scientists, anybody's coming out, people with the cure and everything. And now everything is about this pandemic. We're listening to them, you know, so put your content out there and let people evaluate. Don't be worried about what people are going to think. Oh, is this expert? You're going to be better than someone, right? And those people that you're 2 or 3 steps better than are going to be interested in your content. Now, the third C is credibility. When you put your content out there, then we're going to be able to judge. We can't judge how credible you are. You need the social proof. You need to be in, like when you write for high profile magazines, for example, that automatically increases your credibility. So we're thinking, oh, she's on CNN, which means, we're expecting that CNN has vetted her. And so you become, you're pre-vetted. And so you're able to make more impact. We know newspapers, TV shows, like you do a TED Talk, Imagine you give a TED Talk, your credibility increases immediately. So there are things that you can do. You can borrow credibility. For example, today I'm on Today's Woman show, and Today's Woman, who's run by Ms. Adeso Onyenekwe of, a veteran in the industry who was recently named one of the top 25 people in Nigeria. So I'm here, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you appeared here today." So you can borrow credibility, other people's audiences, find the influencers in the industry where you want to be in, and go out to them. And the last C is connection. Who's your network? Who you know is as important as what you know. We've had it being said, but it's true. When I attended the Stanford program, it was actually because, and I got a 50% scholarship. It was because I was in the EDC network. And one of the ladies from the faculty came when they were inaugurating us into the ESCO, and that is how I made it in there. If I wasn't in the ESCO, if I wasn't in the EDC network, I wouldn't have that opportunity. A lot of the mistakes we make as entrepreneurs is that we want to go it alone. We want to be super women. We want to be, we try and go it alone. But going it alone is a lonely journey, and it doesn't make sense. When you're in a network, you can ask for help. And actually, one of the principles of influence is that when you ask for help, people are flattered. When you get into a network, what are the ways to build rapport with influencers, with powerful people? Some of those ways are like the principle of similarity, the principles of influence. When you become when you are in a network, your message spreads faster, so it's not just you saying I am this or I am that. Other people are saying it as well, and people are listening, and they're more likely to believe you than just you saying it. I remember that when I wrote my book, I asked my friends to share my flyer and all that, and in groups of like 250 people on WhatsApp, if you share it on 4, it has reached 1,000 people. So that's the power of networks. When we join a network, we're getting the collective. If there are entrepreneurs that had 5-10 years experience, in that group, you might be having more than 100 years of experience in one group. Where else are you going to get that? Another way to build collaboration and connections is when you flatter people. You're trying to get stuff from people. Like Ms. Nkiru said, you give to your network. You're not only taking. There's a book called Be a Go-Giver, not a go-getter all the time. Be a go-giver. So you give to the network, and then eventually what will happen? Another principle of influence, which is called reciprocity, tells us that when you're giving, eventually people are going to want to give back. They're like, what? This person has been giving and giving. Uju, what do you need? Jane, what do you need? Anne, what do you need? You're sharing. Let's say someone is more powerful than you. You can share resources. You can share their quotes or their tweets or, whatever they're doing. You can share it. That's one way that you can show that you kind of appreciate someone. You want someone to be your mentor or whatever, and you're thinking, what can you give to the person? Like I said, the principles of similarity. Find the things that maybe people have in common, right? You look through their bio or their profile. Maybe you went to the same school. Maybe you are in the same profession or in the same industry. Find those things. Also help them, like I said, with sharing their things. And eventually they're going to be like, who is this person? What do you need? I'm going to help you. Look, research has shown that people who are looking for jobs have found that most of the time they're not getting it even from their immediate circle, because their immediate circle, you usually know the same people. So your immediate circle sometimes is redundant. When you make your connections outside of your circle, then you start to enjoy the strength of weak ties, and if you're trying to get to someone, there's something simple you can do called power mapping. So you put the person in the center of the map. So let's say, for example, you're trying to meet with who now? Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. You put her in the center of your map, and then you think to yourself, okay, who is it that knows her? And when you go on LinkedIn, you see things like third connection, fourth connection. So even social media makes it easy for us because we can even see who is connected to the people. And then you can meet the people that you want. You want to sell your things. Look, all of us that are in the business of entrepreneurship, our number one source of revenue is customers. There's no other source. So you have to, first of all, get those clients in. How do you attract those ideal clients? These are the ways you build a standout brand that no one can but look at you. You command attention. There's a TED Talk that talks about your physiology, your body language. How do you show up? And it proves that when you show up with passion, you take up space, you show up with power, not arrogance, people are drawn to you, So you're trying to build a business, you need to get people to know, like, and trust you. And how do they build that know, like, and trust factor? Is by connecting with them, by connecting with people, by building a brand that everybody wants to be associated with. So if you haven't taken away anything from what I've said today, I hope you take away these 4 C's. Your character is so important. You need to craft your character. Your credibility, people are not going to know, like, and trust you if they don't find you credible. And how can you build credibility? You can build credibility by, that earned media, other people who are introducing you. The principle of authority also, like, we know that when a doctor gives you, like, research has found that when doctors who are wearing their lab coats and their doctor's uniform, when they give you an instruction, you take it, So that principle of authority, you can borrow that by working with high-profile publications and news media. That your content, you need to put your content out there, write, speak, blog, use Instagram, which is free. And then the last one is your connection. The more they say that if you work together, you work farther, So don't try and do it alone. I think that's the number one mistake that entrepreneurs make, especially female entrepreneurs. And most female entrepreneurs also have the problem of imposter syndrome, where they don't feel that they're good enough. No one is going to come to your house and say, hey, you're now good enough. We need to kind of overcome these hurdles. And one way to do that is that we have to look at power. How do we build power? And by that, I don't mean, like I said, in an arrogant way, but it's how do we show up in a way that people believe you, trust you, like you, and are more readily willing to buy from you. Thank you. Joyce, over to you.
Wait, let me finish writing my notes. Wait. Thank you so much, Ms. Uju. It's amazing. There is so much said that I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, my character. So it's not just how I want people to see me, but how I am every day. Then it would determine how people see me when I show up, and my credibility. So I can't be, taking things on credit and not paying when I should, so that people don't call me out where I shouldn't be called out. Thank you so much, Drew. We are grateful. And there are questions already in the comment section. So it means in a short while, we're going to call us back to take this question. So please sit tight. Everyone, please, round of applause for Ms. Uju Obuekwe, enlightening us in developing our personal brand. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Wow. This is amazing. The truth is, we can't have this enough. We need to continue to congregate, to listen to women and men who've gone ahead of us, to learn from their experiences, from their expertise, so that we can practice, become, and of course, leave a trail for others to take from. If we want to raise, if we really want the better society, the better Nigeria that we ask for, we hope for, we pray for, then it is the collective role of you and I to practice these things that we learn, so that it will affect every part of our lives, our businesses, our families, and of course our children will also do what we do, not just what we say. So we're grateful to today's Woman magazine for putting this wonderful event together for the developing the mind of the female-preneur's mindset. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Olumide-Ojo Nkiru was up earlier, and she motivated us, and a number of things she said that still stand out for me. I would like to reel out for those of us who are just coming in, who are thinking, what have I missed? What have I missed? Don't worry, we'll fill you in. And of course, you can always watch the replay after the live event. You can come back and watch it again and again. She spoke about being teachable, being humble in growing in our career paths. She also mentioned that we should invest in relationships, not just being transactional about reaching out to people only when we need them, but we should reach out to them for real, to develop real good relationships and improve our networks. She says that we should play down on our biases. Stop thinking that women hate women, women are problems, people hate us, somebody's out to get us, or that victim mentality. We can play down such. We should be more daring, more courageous to ask for what we want at the table where our voices should be heard. And when Ms. Uju Obuekwe came up speaking about branding, she talked about the 4 C's. If you were here, fantastic. If you weren't here, she said character, credibility, content, and connection. Who you are, how you are trusted, what you give out to people, and how you connect with people. Very important. And of course, there were other bite-sized points to support these points that she raised. I would advise all of us, again, tomorrow, another day, come back and watch it. They're short clips you can take away with you, and you can share with your friends. Let them know that these are the things that we took away from our session today. Our next speaker is a sales and marketing expert. But before she comes up, I'd like to welcome a very special woman. First time I heard her, I'm sure I was younger than 10 years old. And the first thing that got my attention was her voice. Rich, should I say deep, but commanding voice. And she's held us spellbound on TV for many years, all these years. And then she founded the Today's Woman TV program, and of course the Today's Woman magazine, which has been a blessing to so many of us. What's happening in Nigeria, what's happening in the women's space, who is who and where. We would all go to TW magazine to find out. She has never, ever lost her drive and her zeal to congregate women together for one purpose, which is to go up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, she called us all together today to take us to another level. I would like you to put your hands together with me as we welcome our founder. We call her Auntie A.O. Adesoa Onyenokwe.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to do
welcome, A.O.
Joyce, let me first say thank you for doing this, especially because I called you at the last minute and you said, okay, this is not vote of thanks. But I thought it was important to give a break to our speakers before the next speakers come to engage with those people who have been kind enough to join us today. And the beauty about what we're doing here is that what we have done will be played back, is live on YouTube, and to play back on our platforms going forward. So people really won't miss much. I would implore those who are in the house to please take advantage of the chat box and write their questions, And I don't mind having a Joycey there. I call you Joycey, so we can do this together, can't we? So basically, when we decided to have this developing the femalepreneur set, the team felt it was important, given the fact that a lot of people are home at this time, and we are getting used to using our digital platforms to do all kinds of things. The least we can do is to at least learn from it. And we thought, you follow us, you're part of our world. Why not bring those people who are part of our world and get them to talk with you and teach you and learn, and this is for free, of course, but you're lucky because at least you follow TW and you read TW, I believe. And this is just the first in the series that we're going to have. And trust me, when we do things, we're looking out for your own good. And listening to Nkiru, first of all, speak and talk about how we need to stay connected to each other, but the real us, and Joyce has at least tried to summarize it for us. But it's a function of, and what bothers me most as a publisher and somebody who's been around for quite a bit, over 50, almost 57 years, and over 30 years in this industry, is how little women realize the power that they have. And so whittle it down to nothingness by not being real or learning the best that they can and putting their best foot forward. So if you're being here today, don't just listen, write down. And like Nkiru said, it's one thing to take advantage of all the webinars or seminars when we're live and motivation that people give to us. If we do not use them, it's wasted. When people ask things, how do you do it? Why are you like this? It's about learning the right things, the information that you expose yourself to, adopting them, and living them. And living them may not be easy. I'll give an example. For example, for you guys to kind of identify. A lot of people say, she looks so good for her age. She's this, she's that. It's not by accident. Maybe there's a bit of nature in it, but there are certain things that you must do to ensure that you stay that way. And one of the things I've done for the past, 20-something years or so, is drink lots of water, 1.5 liters. It causes a lot of trouble because once you do that in the morning, you're going to have to be looking for a bathroom to ease yourself. But I've done it for so long, and it's helped my system work better. Another thing I adopted, which is also detoxifying, making sure that once in a few months, you allow your system rest. And these things I know have advantages. As I've grown older, some parts of my body are telling me that, hey, it's time to do things differently. Now, what am I getting at here? We must use what we learn. And when we use them, trust me, in less than 21 days, if you've picked up a habit, it becomes a way of life. So please listen hard and deep to everybody who's speaking today. Make our work worthwhile by not just listening, adopting them, adapting them, sharing them, not only because you live it, when people see you, they want to be like you and they'll learn, but actively going out to teach people what you've learned. So I snuck in. I've done 5 minutes, I hope. And I'd like to sneak back out and listen to our other two speakers. But first, I think Joyce would like to take some of your questions now. Am I right, Joyce?
Yes, you are right, AO. Thank you. It was about, wow. It's like 6 or 7 years ago, I first heard you talk about this 1.5 liters of water in the morning.
Oh, so you can attest to my character.
I can, and your character and your credibility. And I've been practicing the same. And I've actually taught so many of my friends as well. It was from you. You said, that day, I'm trying to remember where I was. I think I was in a car or something where I'm still trying to remember when and how I saw it. And you said you start with 1.5 liters, and then during the day, you spread the other 1.5 liters. The first few weeks were hell. Yes, always. And you also, you prepared my mind. You said every 30 minutes you would need to go to the bathroom. I had never known. I have a BSc in human anatomy. I didn't know I would need to go every 30 minutes. I thought I'll be going every 2 minutes. Thank you so much, AO. It has become a lifestyle, and I am very grateful to you for sharing. Women, please appreciate AO, founder, today's woman. Paying it forward is such an important thing. When you hear something that is good for you, gather your friends, send them a message, or put them together in a space if you can, and just talk to them about what you've heard. It's paying it forward. It's allowing somebody else benefit from the learning that you've had. It makes us better. And it also helps us squash that myth that women don't let each other grow. We do. We encourage. We help each other grow constantly. And so we must pay it forward. A few comments in the comment section. Let me scroll and pick a few comments here and there before we ask some of the questions that are waiting for our first two speakers. And if you do have questions, it's a good time now to put them in the comment section. And two speakers, Ms. Nkiru Olumide-Ojo and Uju Obuekwe, will come up to respond to our questions. Some of the comments say here, stop being secluded by biases. Stop being, these are some notes people have been putting down based on what they've been learning from the very beginning. So we're jotting things down and we're getting our questions ready. Nancy, thank you for that. Now you can have some of your questions ready. Please, how can I rebrand? Okay, that's a question. We're going to call up our speakers to respond to our questions. When you are in a network, you can ask for help. That's the purpose of having a network in the first place, to grow together. Is it possible to build a business? Okay, we will take that question. And a lot of people here are just saying amazing, I'm learning a lot. Somebody's recounting the 4 C's: character, content, credibility, and connection. Wash hands. Is that wash hands, or it's supposed to be clap, clap? Okay. Please, there's someone's location. Okay, I have this question and I'll ask it to the speakers when they come up. Many people are saying I'm grateful. Yes, invest in relationships. Being humble, invest in relationships, improve our network, and play down on our biases. Those were words from Ms. Olumide-Ojo. Okay, thank you so much. I'm already getting so much. That is from Macarius Uche. Many of our participants here are thanking our speakers for a great job done already. Eshe Vivian says, I will work toward the 21-day rule. Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to bring up our first two speakers. Oh, yeah. Yes, wash hands remind us to be safe. Exactly. So we must wash our hands constantly. Thank you. So we're going to bring up our first two speakers, and I'll ask them the questions that I have noted from the comment section, and maybe 1 or 2 questions that I have myself, questions that I know are usually recurring. I will keep my eyes on the comment section for your questions. Okay, let's have back up on stage Ms. Nkiru Olumide-Ojo and Ms. Uju Obuekwe. If your hands are there, give us virtual claps in the comment section. Let's see claps. Welcome. Okay, so let's unmute ourselves and allow me to send the first question to Ms. Nkiru. Talking about network, what do I do if my network is not great? I don't have a good network or a great network. How do I expand or find a good network and find my way in there? That's the first question. I'll take 2 questions so you can answer them side by side. Then the second question is, does my location affect my business? Can my location limit the growth of my business, regardless of what the business I do? So those are the 2 questions for you. Thank you.
Right. So the first question about networking is very important. And I'd like to clarify that everyone thinks that now, most people think that networking is an exchange of business cards and a desire to find a friendship that is perhaps in terms of equity slightly higher than yours. That's an inappropriate view. Networking is an exchange of value. And it is you exchanging value with someone, and it's fine. Sometimes your equity is higher, the other times the person's equity is higher. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is, bear in mind that you're exchanging value and never think that you have nothing to offer anyone. I meet people who say to me, but he's so big, what can I give him? So I go for this event and I meet someone and I'm interested in his sector, and I explain who I am to him and all. And afterwards, obviously, I do the usual. I send a thank you note and all. And then I'm sitting in my bed and I realize that the price of an ingredient for cement has just suddenly gone up. And I realize that that's the second. So I forward the news to him. I'm like, hey, sir, how's it going for you? I saw this and I know that it affects your sector. I'm just wondering if you've seen it. And then I forward it to him. What am I doing? In a tiny way, I'm trying to bring basic value to him. And I do that repeatedly, and an avenue opens up for us to trade value. Sometimes he may be the giver because just in terms of equity, he's higher, he's at this position, he's able to give me. But I must always bear in mind that it's an exchange of value, and I must think of what to offer people. A lot of my mentees in my circle say to me, I don't know what to offer. I don't know what to give. I'm like, but you can offer a book. He may not have read all the books in the world. Surely not. You can offer a book. You can offer thoughts and compliments. He's a chairman. He just finished an AGM, and you say to him, that AGM was great. I believe that, just in terms of what the review was, your share price would, just be valuable. Just think about what value that you can exchange. Networking is not going out to get or grab from someone. Networking is an exchange of value. Just on the topic of networking, I'm going to ask that everyone tries to read the book, Never Eat Alone. Never Eat Alone. It really helped me with networking. It was one of my mentors who recommended it. It's a powerful, powerful book. So that's the first response. Now, the second question was, can location affect my business? I'm going to give you one of those answers of yes and no. No, because what technology has done for us at this time is to show us that every business can be done remotely. Literally every business, every sector. Now, every business, just in terms of from food to fast-moving consumer goods, to just think about all the things we all had to order and get whilst we were on lockdown. So literally every business, about every business can be done remotely. Now, there are types of businesses, obviously, that will need physical engagement and that will need your physical presence. So I think my first answer is, it depends on what type of business you're doing. If you're in mining, obviously, you're going to need to go to the mines, obviously, if you're in mining. If you are in any form of production that requires tilling the earth, like farming for food, you obviously have to physically be in those locations. But just understanding and bearing in mind that technology is a big enabler of us selling our services and our businesses every and anywhere. In the Lighthouse network, we typically have school outreaches. And what it is that we go to underserved universities and teach them how to get ready for the marketplace. Now, we teach them how to get ready to interview for 9-to-5s and how to write business plans. Obviously, with the advent of COVID, we couldn't do it. What did we do? We knew they were underserved schools. We provided data for them. We connected them virtually, and we had the session. So literally everything is possible. Not unless you are in physical production like mining, where you then need to take your business, physically go into those locations. But technology obviously has proven a great enabler. Thanks, Joyce.
Thank you, Ms. Nkiru. It is an enabler, technology, not something we should shy away. Thankfully, later one of our speakers will be addressing technology and women. And of course, stick around to make sure you don't miss that. Thank you, Ms. Ojo. 2 questions for Ms. Uju Obuekwe. How can I rebrand, especially if I've already been known in one sector or one area? Now I'm switching, what do I do? And also, second question is it possible to build a business brand without becoming personal and showing my personal side? I've been told that it's good to build a brand and have some personal touch in it. So what do you say? What do you think?
Thank you, Joyce. These are great questions. So the first question is to rebrand, right? Well, luckily, life is such that, women are multitaskers. We've just been born with that innate ability. So many people have, different desires and needs, and even trying to niche down is difficult. And I don't believe that, even though you're going to niche down to what your, the most viable thing, where you have your greatest expertise. But I personally, I'm a lawyer, and then a banker, and now a brand strategist. So I have had, a career that has progressed from different professions. But what I would say to anybody who's trying to rebrand is this. Number one is, when you make that choice to rebrand, or to change direction. For example, in COVID, people are pivoting to different things. Is to get clear about your messaging. The messaging is the most important thing. You get to networking events and people are like, oh, what do you do now? And you're like, well, you see, So when you haven't honed your elevator pitch, when you do that, immediately it's a conversation starter. It's something. I know I had a few clients who, because they had a past where they were not too proud of, they were now doing something else. They tried to kind of erase the past. And I said, no, you have to own it. The thing about it is, how do you craft the message in a way that, like I had a banker who wanted to transition into being a life coach, and I said, look, your banking helps you. Well, let's come together and craft your elevator pitch in a way that people are going to be like, wow, that sounds powerful. That is incredible. They want to know you. They want to get to know you and what you do now, And so when we finished it, she stopped being hesitant. She stopped being. Let me tell you, when I entered this marketing communications industry, I had imposter syndrome. I found it difficult. And then at first, it was my sister and I that started it. And I thought to myself, people are going to be like, how did the banker turn this? But all through my banking career, I was marketing. I went for many courses of marketing and everything. And my sister studied advertising. And we kind of hid for a while. And what happened? As more and more women came in, we didn't own our story that we were two sisters. I'm pretty sure that we're the only two sisters at the time to start a branding agency. But we hid behind anonymity, and it didn't work for us. And that kind of even dovetails into the second question, if you're building a business brand. Look, go and check out the people that we follow, that we like, that we influence. How many people are as engaged with like a British Airways or like a Virgin, if not for Richard Branson? The brands we love, most of the time, it's tied to our love for the founder. We kind of share common things with the founder. We believe in their message. We believe in their. So to make a connection, it's usually through a human connection. Go and see the Oprah's followers. Are there as many followers of the magazine or as many followers of her network? It's the person that we're interested in. We want to know what's the thought process. Look, I listened to the founder of Zoom because he went to Stanford Graduate School of Business. So he was back at the school and they interviewed him. And he said how he started Zoom. It was a love story. He had a girlfriend or fiancé many miles away. And, he kept thinking, is there no technology that can bridge the gap so I can talk to my fiancé, And that's how he started Zoom. And all he wanted was, well, after hearing the story, I am so much more endeared to Zoom, And he talked about how they had 10 customers and 15, and when 2 will drop, he would personally call them, personally email them, and people would be like, is this a scam? How can this be the founder of Zoom? But that was the passion he brought to his business. Why did you stop your subscription? And they would tell him. And when they found out that it was the owner of Zoom calling them, he said a lot of them are lifetime customers. So stop hiding behind your brand. If you're a secret, nobody's going to know you. Look at Black Lives Matter, for example. They were looking for Black influencers, Black coaches, Black everything to highlight, Black designers. If nobody knows that you're a Black-owned business, how are they going to find you? So people, I know that it's kind of safer to hide behind your business brand, but you're not going to make a connection. The world we're living in now, there are millions of products, millions of brands. In fact, it's getting crowded. You go into social media, you know how many billion Facebook accounts. How are you going to stand out? Why should people buy from you? It's only by making that human connection. And when you make the human connection, you're going to get lifetime clients. Look, if your brand is a commodity, people just buy it. Look, I'm looking for soap, and I just go into the shop and I just buy soap. I'm not going to be a repeat customer. But your repeat customer means lifetime value. In fact, there are brands that parents hand down to their kids, and their kids start using the brand. And when they leave, they hand down. First Bank is over 100 years. So imagine that you can get a lifetime value of a customer. Why would you want to, even trade that to be anonymous.
Okay.
You know, being anonymous is not going to help your business at all.
Okay. Being anonymous will not help your business. It is not compulsory, but it can really help your business. So if it can help, why not?
In
Thank
today's
you so
world,
much.
it's actually compulsory unless you're
Oh,
not
it
in
is.
business.
Oh,
It is
you see, it's
compulsory
now compulsory.
unless you're not
So
serious about
we're not negotiating
business.
with it anymore. Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. So we have about 2 more questions for both of you, and then we'll let you go for now. The question about mentorship. Do you have opportunities for mentorship? Do you have mentorship programs or masterminds that people can join? But before you answer that, there's another question for Miss Nkiru, which is about shyness. She says in the comment, I am not an introvert, but I am shy. So I keep holding myself back. Please speak to this woman who has this challenge.
Okay, can I just touch very briefly, just to build on what Uju has said about a brand? Look, I think that the ultimate power of a brand is in the brand experience. And obviously I talked about there being a lot of posturing on social media and everywhere else. But when someone experiences your brand and there's no dissonance between what the brand promise is and the brand experience, then you know you have a brand. I think that until then, it's a lot of talk and it's a lot of actions. And I'm going to just say why I feel the need to buttress the point. It's because of the question the person asked, who said, can I rebrand? You can. I worked in a brand and rebranded a brand from Zain to Airtel. And before my time, that brand had been through painful experiences from Econet to bloody, all the way till it got up to where it is today. And what made people stay? Because when they came to the brand experience was still right. So all the livery and the facets changed, but the experience, the network calls wasn't dropping. Life wasn't going short. So it's just back to however you rebrand, understand that your experience has to match your brand promise. I couldn't resist it. I just had to build on what she had said. So thanks. So the lady asked about being shy. I mean, everyone has a few hang-ups in life. That's how we're made. But I personally feel that there's no hang-up that you cannot overcome with deliberate practice. I'm just going to give you a quick story. One of my former bosses and someone I consider a mentor said to me that she's a painfully shy person. And I thought, how can you be? You are the group CEO and you're doing amazing work. And then she said to herself that networking is work. And when I'm working, I need to get results. So every time she goes to an event, she gives herself a target. She says, I'm going to speak to 5 people. Now, underneath that might have been personal conversations she has with herself. And the kind of conversations you have with yourself is to say, they're not going to kill me. They're just human beings. The worst they can say to me is no. I'll give you one of the tricks I use. As extroverted as I am, everyone goes to an event and you are kind of intimidated. You kind of need a few minutes to balance. And once I get into an event like that, I look quickly and I'm thinking, who am I going to chat up? Guess what I do? I go to the older ladies. As soon as I've marked out an older lady, I go to her and I'm like, hi, good evening. How's it going, ma'am? My name is. Why? Because an older lady is not interested in having any airs. An older lady is comfortable in her own skin, doesn't feel intimidated, is open to conversations. And then obviously just putting that little trick aside is also speaking to yourself. And it's having what I talk to myself all the time. If I'm going to have a presentation, I put myself in front of the mirror and I speak. I say, the people there are only human beings. They're not going to kill me. The worst they can say to me is, it wasn't a great. I imagine the worst case scenario. So I feel like just a combination of giving yourself a target, a combination of speaking to yourself loudly. Sometimes I speak to myself and they'll say, did you say something? I'm like, no, to myself. Speaking to yourself loudly so you hear it, and then giving yourself a target. I feel like those things will build your confidence. And every time you find an older woman, speak to her. If you find me an event, come and speak to me. We'll break the ice together. Thanks.
I'm gonna be watching out for you at my next event. Not because I'm shy, but just because of how much I love you, and I just want to hug you and say thank you so much for being
Thank
such
you.
a
Yes, okay.
bright light and being a
Thank you.
lighthouse to many
Thank you. Yes,
of us.
kind. Thank
So
you.
set a target and look out for older women. Might I add, also look out for younger women. There might be someone in there who might be more scared than you. Go to
True,
her and hold
true,
her
true,
hand
true,
and
true,
say, come on, girl,
true.
let's
Good
do this
point.
together.
Good point.
Thank you
Powerful
so
point.
much. So,
True, true.
about mentorship, do you have any mentorship platforms that people can sign up to?
Yes, but let me also add to something that Ms. Nkiru said about being shy. I know in her
Okay.
first presentation, she talked about she doesn't believe in fake it till you make it. Okay, so this is a slightly different one. Fake it till you become it. If you're shy, you can fake it till you become it. I want whoever asked the question to go and look at Amy Cuddy's TED Talk about body language and the power. Your physiology can actually change. What kind of posture are you exhibiting? When you do small postures, like kind of whatever, you become, you're not empowered. She said that in her research, she found that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, when you win, you raise your hand. There's no, even when, people who are sight impaired, that have never seen anything, that when they win, they raise their hand. And she showed that when you change your body language, you can change your physiology. And so it's about practicing. You can learn the art of public speaking, but practice this expansive gestures. Practice it. And she said in 2 minutes, you're able to change. So even though you're shy, if you're not introverted, good for you. I'm introverted, but I now know how to act deliberately, how to build my physiology so that I come across, because look, if you're bending your face, you're closing your eyes, you're not going to look powerful. People are going to walk past you. So acting with power till you become it, not fake till you make it, but fake till
Okay.
you become it. So
Okay.
that's one quick tip. Then about mentorship, I'm actually privileged. I was one of the first 200 women in the African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative across Africa a few years ago. And this year they asked me to be a mentor for some of the people who are coming into the cohort now. So I'm a mentor of that. I'm a mentor of the Tony Lumelu Foundation. Some of the people who come on the program. And I also mentor women on the Road to Growth business program as well. So I already have some mentors that I work with. It's a lot of fun because we kind of exchange ideas. It helps us because my own mentor, when I did my program, was able to connect me. Look, I met the CEO of one of the longest running advertising agencies in Philadelphia, and he gave me tips on how to, for my agency and everything. So mentorship is so important. Like I said, let's not work it alone. Let's ask for help.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Ask for help. Don't walk alone. Also, it's been scrolling at the bottom of the screen how you can get in touch with our speakers and join their platforms, their mentorship programs. I know your hands are there, so give us some online claps for Ms. Nkiru Olumide-Ojo and Ms. Uju Obuekwe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're not leaving.
Thank you,
They're
Joyce.
heading backstage till we have them back up again. Thank you so much. This is a rich one. We're improving the mindset of the femalепreneur thanks to today's Woman magazine. And our next speaker is a young global leader and author who is a sales and marketing expert. She's the leader of the AGS Tribe. The AGS Tribe is a platform designed to give support through opportunities, knowledge, and more to women. And she herself is called the Relatable Entrepreneur. She has shown grit and drive in helping members of her team, of her tribe, to help them achieve full potential. We admire totally her dedication to her mentees and to the members of her tribe. Recently, not long ago, June 21st to be precise, a member of her tribe was killed, unfortunately, by her fiance, and after that, he killed himself. Now, our speaker did not just sit by and watch. She went ahead to rally the support of the entire world to raise funds for the children of the deceased that were left behind. The target was 20 million naira. But after 7 days of fundraising, 25 million naira was achieved. This speaks to someone who is committed to seeing her people grow even after they have departed sadly. It's also worthy of note that we are grateful for her life. She was hit by COVID-19, but she was spared, and she's here to smile about it and not only make lemonades from lemon. She's going to build a whole or grow a whole lemon farm and give lemonade to the entire world to drink, because she's been there, she's done that. She has a t-shirt, a face cap, and she's going to see many of us grow to the next level. Developing our mindset today and preparing us for more empowerment, please welcome with me Ife Durosinmi-Etti. Welcome, Ife.
Oh,
welcome. So happy to have you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So happy to have you here.
I didn't even expect that introduction. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's a bit that we're talking about. Thank you so much.
We love you and we're honored to have you.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here, especially because it's a program that is focused on women, and I'm sure all of you know that I'm very, very passionate about women, and all the things I've done over the last couple of years have been very, very female focused. I don't hate men, but I feel like the female race has been put in the backseat for too long. So I think women need to be more empowered, especially empowered socio-economically. And that brings me into my topic. For today, I'm going to be talking about funding for women, or funding in general, with a focus on grants. So thank you so much for inviting me for this session. I'm really, really honored, like I said earlier. So I'm just going to delve into it. What is funding? So obviously everyone knows that launching a business is really, really daunting. You look at people and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this person move from point A to point B? You're really confused. You don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have enough capital to take your business to the next level. But I always like to tell people that when you're starting a business, before you even start thinking of, oh my gosh, how can I take this business to the next level? You need to first figure out what your actual product is, and is your product really, really, solving a problem. So knowing how to also allocate funds, when you acquire funding, after you've pitched to investors and you've gotten funding, is also another challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women, face. So when you're looking for funding, what are the things that who are the people, or what are the groups of people that you can go to get funding for your startup? The first group of people I like to say are your family and friends. Like that should be your first point of contact. These are people who already believe in you. No matter what you're doing, they can say, okay, if this thing, what you're doing makes a lot of sense. Let me give you 20 naira. Let me give you 2,000 naira. I believe in what you're trying to do. They would also give you feedback on your product. So it's important for you to go first to your friends and family. This is obviously after you must have bootstrapped and everything. So obviously, if you don't invest in your business, nobody's going to want to invest, in you. Another option you can look towards is crowdfunding. And I love how, they already spoke about how, we were able to raise funding for Lamide Ali Omajoa. May her soul rest in peace. We just use the crowdfunding model. I leverage different platforms to raise funding for her. People actually do this for their businesses. If they know that they need funding, they can go there. There are different platforms you can use. There is GoFundMe, there's Kickstarter, there are different platforms. Even in Nigeria, there's a platform called Femalepreneur. I've seen Donate NG. There are different platforms where you can go and try to raise funding for your project. I saw a company recently who was trying to raise £500,000 for their business, a Black company owned by a Nigerian, actually based in London, and she was able to raise this funding in about a month, £500,000. So Crowdfunding is also another route, and you can just let people know the amount of equity you're willing to give out when the money is raised. Another option you can look into is grants. And I'll talk about grants last anyway. Let me talk about the others. Another one you can look towards, which I don't necessarily like, especially when you're just starting out, is loans. There are a lot of loan opportunities for women that are out there. There's Bank of Industry, there's AGS Tribe. There are different organizations that give out loans to female-led businesses, and some of them even have low interest rates. You can also look into those opportunities. But I always like to tell people, when you're getting a loan, it's always better when you already have an order to fulfill, because sometimes that pressure of you thinking about, oh my God, what if my order doesn't sell? What if people don't want it? But imagine if you're doing a business like maybe to supply like maybe 100 seats and tables to maybe a school or something. You already have that order, so you can already calculate your profits, upfront and all that. So you can take that loan and be confident that you'll be able to pay back. But when you're not really sure about the product, when you've not even sold anything, when you haven't already started generating revenue, and you cannot predict what your future revenue can be, it's not really a good time to take a loan, for that business. Another place where you can get funding from is, any of these investors, like the maybe private equity firms or VC firms, venture capital firms. You can always reach out to them. If you have a good product, trust me, money will be chasing you. At the beginning of my business, and for women, I like to encourage women, I was like this too. When I first started my first business, and people used to contact me and say, Ife, when are you going to start looking for funding? I'm interested in, investing in your business. I'll be like, I beg, please, you want to come and kick me out of my business. Because I've heard so many gory stories about how, someone started a business maybe 20 years down the line. They'll just plan, different investors come together, plan and push the person out of business. So I got really scared. So when people started reaching out to me, I said, please, I'm not interested in your money. Just, continue to grow organically. But when you're growing like that, organically, I'm not saying it's not going to grow organically, but there's some businesses that, need that extra push, and you might not be able to ever get to the next level if you don't get investment. And one of those kinds of businesses is logistics. It's, you can still be doing your logistics business, small. And hello, can you guys hear me? It might get to a point where people need. I got sidetracked. Sorry. Might get to a point where you really need funding, and you really need to expand. I've seen businesses where they were moving with their brakes on just because they did not get that investment from investors, and that's not the best route to go. I've seen people, maybe another company come into the industry and literally almost kick them out of the industry just because they didn't want to dilute their own equity in the business and all that. So think about the big picture. Do you want to be the owner? Or do you want to own 100% of a 10 million naira company, or do you want to own 10% of a 100 million naira company? So you can pick and choose. And for me, I would always prefer to, because I'm more passionate about creating an impact. And the bigger you are, the more impact you're more likely to give. So I would always say, if you have the opportunity to get investment from the right investor, don't look back. Just do it, and obviously get your papers right. Get a lawyer to go over, a good lawyer, especially a lawyer who understands the investment world. Get them to look over all the paperwork and everything, just to make sure that you're covered on all sides. And the last part is grants. There's so many grant opportunities for women out there. Apart from grants, there are also like fellowship opportunities as well that might down the line give grants to women. So if you're not looking out for those opportunities, if you're not in the right place at the right time, you might never ever know that these opportunities exist. So when you're looking for a grant, some of the things that people normally would ask you, when they put out like a grant application, for example, they will ask some grant applications tell you, okay, we have a set of questions, you must respond to those questions, and then we're good. If you respond properly, you're more likely to get the the grant. But if you don't respond properly, then obviously you don't have a chance. Other grant opportunities, just put out a call for application. We have 100 million naira to give, 10 organizations, apply. And we're interested in so and so sector, apply. You now have to go and think, come up with your own proposal, like a grant proposal, and apply very, very professionally before you can get access to that funding. And that's one of the areas I'm going to delve deeper in today. So what is a grant? So a grant is a non-repayable fund or product given to an individual or a company for a specific purpose. And there are elements of a successful grant application. And this is very, very peculiar to organizations who don't tell you what to look for, what they're looking for. But there are specific things that they're looking out for. And I've reviewed so many grant applications, and most of the requirements are the same on the back end. But you're just applying from your own brain and knowledge and everything. You might not know that there's specific things that these organizations are looking out for. So I'm just going to be talking about them very briefly. First, you need to always talk about your organization. So what's the background of your organization? What's your experience? They want to know, your financial health. So whether you're an NGO, whether you're a business, they need to know that your business is doing well financially. Nobody wants to put money in like a basket. They need to understand your financial health. So you need to be able to put in your historical, so your past revenue, maybe for the last 3 years or 5 years, if you've been in existence for up to 5 years. And they also want to see your projection. So what are you looking? What does it look like for you over the next 5 years? And the more likely you are, the more healthy you are, obviously, the higher your degree of getting the application. Another thing they look out for is what are the objectives of that particular application, so the grant application. So what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to maybe impact the lives of 2,000 women over the next 1 year? Are you trying to educate 30,000 children? You need to be very, very specific with your objectives, and those objectives needs to tie in the objectives of what the organization is trying to do. Also, they want to know that you have your monitoring and evaluation plan in place. If you cannot monitor, whatever you cannot monitor, whatever you cannot monitor, you cannot measure, you cannot get better at it. So they need to know that you have everything in place. So who is going to do what, who's responsible for what, and you have to align it there with you have to put down the people who are responsible for the different aspects of the project. Also, they want to know your program partners. So for example, I always tell people people don't always have to give you money, but if you partner with other credible organizations, you're more likely to get a grant from a global organization or even a Nigerian organization. For example, every year we do something called the Ets Enterprise Challenge, where we give out grants to female-led businesses, and they have to go through like a pitching competition. They have to go through a boot camp and all that. And for that program, we had to partner with different credible organizations. So some of the people who we partnered with last year were people like Google. We partnered with we had media partners, like credible media partners. We had different people who partnered with us for that project. Nexim is a bank, Nigerian Exports Bank, and all of that. So we had different credible organizations that partnered with us. And if any other person even sees that kind of call for application out there, they know that this organization is serious. They know what they're trying to do. They know what they're trying to achieve. So that next year, you can even get even more credible people partner with you. And they always like to see that you're also collaborating with other people. If you're really collaborating with other people, they know that what you're actually doing, the problem that you're trying to solve, is really, really, big, because you have people who have come together to, help you bring that vision to life. And that takes me to sustainability of the project. So if you're applying for a grant for a program, they want to know that even if you don't get the money, the project will still be sustainable. Even if they give you this money, you'll still be able to sustain it even beyond the years or beyond the year that they said that they're going to give you this money. And there was a situation where, I was even working on a project, I think about 4 years ago now. We had even paid for this huge building. We're going to train different people, like engineers and plumbers and all kinds of people in the building. We're going to lease the building for about 3 years. And then after that, we're looking for a government organization to take on that project, because the company who I was working with on this project, they were not in the business of plumbing and all those things. It was just part of their CSR. And guess what? We couldn't find anyone, no government organization, no individual, no company, like just a normal corporate body was even ready to take on this project together. And we had already invested millions and millions and millions of naira into this project. Guess what? We couldn't kick off just because we couldn't hand over this project to another person 3 years down the line. We couldn't take it on. So my point is, even if the funding was there and everything, but because we're not sure of sustainability, we're not willing to make any further investment in that project. So it's important for your business or your project to be sustainable whenever, and you have to be able to prove that it's sustainable whenever you're applying for a grant. Also, they want to know the timeline. So obviously, if you're applying for a grant, you're definitely applying for something for a specific reason. So how long is it going to take? Is it going to take 3 months? Is it going to take 1 year? You have to be really realistic about the timeline. So, and you can break it down. You can say in the first 3 months we're going to do this and this and that. In the next 3 months we're going to do this and that. Very important for you to have that in your application. You also have to have the program description and a very, very, very detailed budget for that. So your project, so your monitoring and evaluation plan, you have to have like your project summary, you have to have progress indicators. So progress indicators are pretty much the checks and balances that you put in place to ensure that the project is going according to plan. You have to have your risk and assumptions. So you have to ensure that you've already identified the risks that are involved in carrying out that project, and make sure that you've been able to talk about how you've been able to mitigate those risks just in case those things come up. You also have to talk about the input. So what are the resources that you are putting inside this project? Because like they say, you have to put your money where your mouth is. If you're not putting in any money, any resources, if you don't have volunteers and all those things like machinery, space, cars, things like that, if you're not putting those things in place, it's harder for them to be able to say, okay, we're going to do this for you. So you have to write down what you as an organization is already imputing, or what you have already imputed into your business up until then. Also, you have to talk about your output. So what is your immediate result of your project? Next thing, you have to talk about your outcomes, and outcomes are different from outputs. So outcomes are, so while output talks about your immediate result of the project, outcomes talks about the like midterm impact of your project. So for example, the farmers have started growing vegetables in the community. So let's say the output was you're going to train 10,000 farmers. But the outcome will now say, okay, these farmers have now gone beyond that and have now gone to start, growing vegetables in the community and have been able to feed so and so, number of people. Impact now talks about the long term. So while outcome is more middle term, impact is more long term. So how is it going to impact your community in the long run? You have to talk about your activities. So all these things goes into your monitoring and evaluation plan. You have to talk about your activities, your key performance indicators. So key performance indicators, I hope I'm not speaking too fast, sorry. Key performance indicators are the values that help you understand whether or not, like I said, your project is going according to plan and is meeting up with your goals. And then you need to talk about the responsibility. So what do these assessors look out for? They need to know that you've thought about your project properly or your business properly. You need to be able to analyze your thoughts and put them on paper, in a very professional manner that is easy to understand, or that the funders can understand. Don't just imagine that anybody has common sense and they can read your mind. You need to be very, very clear. They also need to check that there is no double duty. So if you're applying for a grant, for example, you need to research and check that this thing you're applying for, like it's unique. Nobody else is already doing it in that your community or your state or whatever. If it's not as unique, then you're most likely not going to get it. But that's why you need to make selling proposition, whether it's for a business, whether it's for an NGO. Most times more unique proposals are most likely going to get funded. There also needs to be a need. So just because you feel like doing something doesn't mean that everybody else is going to jump on it. So you need to be sure that, you know, there's a need for that particular project. I think they're trying to warn me that I've gone over my time. They need to, okay, have I? Okay, no, sorry. Okay, so they also need to know that you have a wide reach. So while we don't want to start lying and, you know, say, oh, I'm going to reach 1 million people within 1 year, they want to be sure that you're going to, they're going to get maximum value for whatever amounts that you're requesting for. So your reach is very, very important. So they'll be looking out to see if you're going to actually reach, you know, a wide number of people. You know, they're also checking out to see if you have the budget, you know, and if you have like community love. So if the community is already loving what you're doing, if they're already volunteering their time and energy to make sure that what you're doing is actually good for the community, then, you know, you're more likely going to get that funding. And all this, you know, brings me to the point where, you know, you have to have a product that is of value. If that product is not of value, it will be very, very difficult for, they will even see through, you know, your application. And everybody wants to be part of the success story. This is actually very important. And that's why you see that a lot of people go and meet people who they feel in their minds are already doing well. So you need to be able to talk about your testimonials. They need to be able to see you beyond the way you see yourself. You need to be able to sell your story, sell your success story. Why is it good? Why should they support you? Everybody wants to be part of a success story. That's why you see when it seems like somebody's progressing, you see all the media houses, they don't need to pay for PR anymore. Everybody's interviewing them every day. That's why you see people like Mr. Tonelumelu in the news every day, Dangote in the news every day, because they're doing good. They don't have to beg to be in the news. They're there. People are talking about what they're doing. The media, everybody's talking about what they're doing. And everybody wants to be part of that success story. Also, they're looking at your track record. How have you been able to make sure that, you know, you don't have anything bad out there around you? So what's your integrity? What's the integrity of you and your team? What have you done before? Are you maybe a banker and did you wake up one day and just say, oh, I want to build a skyrocket with no experience? So they'll be looking at, you know, that your track record of not just you, of your team as well. They need to know that you have the experience to do what you say you're going to do. Also, you're not just looking at what's your grant. You're not just looking at what this company is. You should also, they're not just looking at you. You should also be accessing these companies as well. You don't want to take money from somebody whose values are not in line with your values. So, for example, let's say you're a company that does that cleans up the environment, and that's your business. That's the kind of business that you do. You're like an environmental specialist and all that. And then you take money from a company, maybe like an oil and gas company, who is having oil spillages everywhere. Let's say they're giving out a grant. You say, if you now run and go and apply for it. Like the values are not the same, not because of money. You now go and put your mouth and let somebody bite you. So you have to be very, very clear. Do your research and ensure that your values are in line with the organization's values. You know, you need to check out that they have good integrity. You don't want to take money from a fraudster just because you haven't done your research. And then the day that, you know, they arrest that fraudster, they'll come and look for you. And, you know, everybody knows what is happening, you know, all around town now. Also, they check, you should also be checking the grantor's history. And like I said before, your grantor's core values. So what are the steps for success in any application form? And these are just things that I have come up with. And so now we call them the AGS grant commandments. I always say, first things first, research the founder, ensure that the values are in line with your values. You know, you need to check the guidelines of that grant application. Don't just rush to the questions. You know, they might put a trick question in the guidelines and you don't know just because you didn't read the guidelines, and that tells a lot about your character, that you don't really follow instructions. So you need to check your guidelines very well. You need to check if you're eligible. Some of these grant applications stop at 35, some of them stop at 45, some of them stop at 30. You need to check if you're even eligible. Some of them say, oh, it's only for people from African descent. Some other people say, oh, it's only for people who live in Nigeria. Some people will say, okay, it's only for people in America. Like, you need to just check if you're eligible for that grant application. Also, you need to draft your responses on Microsoft Word. This one, if you don't take anything I've said today, just take this, because it is very frustrating when you've done, you've written out your responses, maybe on the platform where you're applying, and then you just click submit, and it will just start rolling, and dismisses you. So everything you've written is gone. You'll be so frustrated, you wouldn't even know where to start from. So I always tell people, draft your responses on Microsoft Word first, so that it's easy for you to check your responses, check if you made any mistakes. It also helps you with other grant applications. If you're a regular grant applicator in quotes, you will know that most of these organizations who give out grants typically ask very similar questions. So at least if another grant application is out, you don't have to start the process all over again. You can just easily tweak your responses to answer the question in the new grant application. So I always say, please respond on Microsoft Word first before you now move it on to the platform or the portal where you'll be submitting the grant application. Also, answer all questions. So some applications, you see them and they say, okay, the ones that are asterisk are the ones that are compulsory, and then the others are not really compulsory. Please don't forget that you're not the only one applying for this funding. There's limited funding, and other people are going to answer all questions. So it's important for you to put your best foot forward. Also, never give up and review with third party. Very, very key. You might think that you've written something so fantastic. I've probably reviewed over 500 applications in the last year. And trust me, when I see these applications, I always feel like crying, because I'm like, how this person is super intelligent. Some are even PhD students, and I'm like, how did this person think they were going to, apply for this thing? Like, did this person really think that they're applying to their boyfriend, or did they really think, are they applying to like a professional organization? People don't really apply, professionally. So it's important for you to be able to apply very well, so that you're putting your best foot forward, and your chances of getting that funding is higher. And also, submit early, very, very key. So you can submit about 2 weeks before the deadline. It gives you, a better chance at the application. Not that people who submit late don't get funded, but I always say just apply early on, so that you don't get distracted, and you don't forget to submit your application, or the system doesn't jam when you're submitting last minute. When you're applying for grants, and what every woman needs to know about, when they're looking for funding, is their pitch deck. They need to perfect their pitch deck. Very important. And I heard somebody talking about their pitch deck earlier on, like when they want to network with people. But this is more about pitch deck when you're like introducing your business to any investor. It's very, very key for you to have it at every point in time. And the most crucial parts of a pitch deck is background of the organization, your problem. Sorry? Hello? Hello? Okay. I can't really hear her. So you need to talk about your problem. So what problem are you trying to solve?
We lose you for a moment. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. What is your solution? Who is your target market? What traction have you made so far? Who are your competitors? What are your milestones? So what milestones have you already achieved so far? Your financials. So like I said before, historicals and projections, and the founder and team information. These are the most critical part of the pitch deck. Once you have this, you can start shopping around, start speaking to investors and all that. And this is different from a 1 minute pitch. Obviously, a 1 minute pitch is very, very different. A 1 minute pitch, pretty much talks about your similar to this, but in 1 minute. Your problem, your solution, why they should choose you, and call for action. So maybe you take the details and all of that. So those are the most important parts when you're looking for funding, especially for grants. I would have taken you through sample grant questions and responses, but I think we're running out of time. So if you guys have any questions for me, you can hit me.
Wow, Ife, this is full school. This is complete school. I can't even imagine what it would be like to sit in a session with you for 4 hours. We'll come out with a PhD maybe. Thank you so much. So first two questions are about your book. Tell us about your book, how we can get the book, and then tell us about the AGS tribe. What exactly goes on in the tribe and how we can join the tribe.
Okay, so this is my book. It's called Accessing Grants for Startups. So the book pretty much talks about how to apply for grants, where to look for grants. I also have written out some of the ways to respond. I even have like templates in there on how to respond to specific questions. And a lot of people, like I've sold over like 5,000 copies. A lot of people have used it and have successfully applied for grants and other opportunities like fellowships and all of that for themselves and their businesses. So that's pretty much what the book talks about, focusing on how to receive, how to get funding, where to look for funding, and all of that. So AGS Tribe. So AGS is actually the acronym of my book. And it pretty much started because I wanted to, so I put like 30 different places where you can access opportunities from in the book. So people kept on asking me, what about new opportunities that come up? How can we access these opportunities? What can we do to get, this funding? So I said, okay, you know what? I will create a platform that I can now keep on posting new opportunities as they come up. And that's how the AGS Tribe was formed. So people now kept on asking me, oh my God, if I need you to hold my hand, oh, I need you to, teach me how to apply for this. Oh, I need ginger, I need like a community. So we decided to create a community out of it. So the community is subscription based. It's 5,000 Naira monthly or 50,000 for the year. We have weekly sessions on different topics. We bring experts, to come and talk to tribe members on different topics. We also share job opportunities on the platform. We ourselves also give out grants to women every year. So we've done it for 2 years now. This is the 3rd year, and we have about 10 beneficiaries within our community. So we have all kinds of benefits. Right now, we're starting like an accelerator program in partnership with Platform Capital called and Unicorn. So the people who go through the program, some of them are going to be able to receive investment for their businesses, and they'll also have access to apply for the Ets Enterprise Challenge, which is the yearly challenge that we have for women. And we have several opportunities. We have so many testimonials from people who have gotten, jobs within the tribe, who have gotten funding through the tribe or our, network. People we've introduced some of the members to investors and all that. So the community is basically to just give you that enabling environment, have people of like minds, and it's female focused. So we have most of our things are geared towards women, but we have men in the community, and I always like to call these men who are passionate about women empowerment. But to be honest, they can also access some of these opportunities as well. So please join our community if you're listening today. There's so many opportunities, waiting for you. And trust me, if you're not at the right place at the right time, you will lose out on so many things. And you cannot let 5,000 Naira steal your destiny. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Ife, one last question, very quick question, please answer in a few seconds. Is it a wise thing for people to start business getting grants?
For me, I feel like grants are good no matter what. You just have to be responsible about it, because some people get spoiled and they think that, oh, I'm just going to be getting grants throughout, it's just easy to get grants, but it's actually very difficult. So what I always say is there's no harm in getting grants. No, it's money you don't have to give back, but you have to be very, very responsible about the grants, because people who give you grants down the line would know that you were irresponsible about that grant.
Ife, Durosinmi-Etti, thank you so much for pouring out your heart and enlightening us about grants. I personally have never heard this much about grants at one sitting. Thank you so much. I'm very sure that many of the women and men who are listening today will be running off to the AGS Tribe to join and follow your page and hear all the wonderful things that you have to say and teach from time to time. Thank you for being such a light. Thank you.
No worries.
Gradually winding down, and we would all come back together at the end of the event, say our goodbyes to our speaker, to our participants, let me also let us know that we've been watching for those who are very active in the comment section. And if you haven't been active, it's a good time to start. We have a gift. We have a gift. TW is known for constantly giving gifts. So we have a gift for participation for those who are very active in the comments during the session. So one more session before we have our finals. And this session is to reform our minds. Okay, to reform our minds. Our speaker is a techpreneur, a business coach, an author, and the founder of TrainQuarters. She is one woman who will scream and shout, oh, develop your online course, create your online course. She knows that a lot of women shy away from tech. In fact, I dare say a lot of people, men and women alike, shy away from tech because we feel the sector is too complicated or it requires too much of us. So she is determined to demystify and simplify getting into the tech space, especially to create and deploy your online course. She has a first-class degree in computer science from the prestigious Covenant University, and her specialty is helping women make bank with the knowledge they already have, put the knowledge together and put it online as a course for people to buy, of course. She has helped so many women across the world and men, because I know that recently some men were really shouting out like, no, you must help us to, what is it? What is all this? We have online courses to create. And she's here today to blaze her joy and her message of tech online for the next generation, because you can't have all that in you and go away with it. You have to find a way to pass it on to the rest of the world. Please join me, welcome the online course launch strategist, the online course queen, Stephanie Obi.
Let me also clap for myself. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, Steph. Good
Hi.
evening. Lovely to see you. Welcome.
Good to see you too, Joyce. Joyce World. Good to see you.
That's it. Go ahead, Steph. You have the floor now.
All right. Hello, everyone. And it's so good to be here. Thank you, TW, for organizing this event and for inviting me. I feel so honored. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who has been here since 4 o'clock. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Shobowale, Lillian, Omotoke, Grace, Saratu. It's good to see you. It's good to see you here. I'm sure you've had so much fun with the other speakers. How do you feel? How do you feel? I know that I think I'm the last speaker or second to last. I'm around the end, and maybe you might be feeling tired, or you're like, oh, I want to just quickly rush out. But please, what I'm about to share with you, what I'm about to share with you. Oh God, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, what I'm about to share with you will change your life, your business, your money, your family forever. All right, so stay with me 15 minutes and let me just share what I've brought for you. Okay, so in case you don't know who I am, I'll introduce myself. My name is Stephanie. All right, my name is Stephanie, and today I run a tech platform. I also have a coaching business, but I didn't start off like this. I used to be an Ankara accessories designer. All right, I always have one here so that I can share with you how I started. My first business was an Ankara accessories. I started it a long time ago, and it was my hobby. I just enjoyed it. I've been doing it all the while when I was in school and all of that. So I started this business. I used to make Ankara accessories. You know this thing. It's like it used to rain. Accessories really used to rain, and I felt like a point came when I wanted to teach people how to create these accessories. I was like, oh, I've run a business since I was a teenager. When I was in university, I started my first business. I really like to empower other women and show them how to start businesses. All right. So I organized my first workshop. Hey, that workshop, the whole world heard about the workshop. I told my friends, my parents, like there was so much buzz around this workshop I want to start. When you want to start a new idea, and you put yourself out there, and you're really gingered. Maybe after you leave this event, for example, you're really gingered to start this idea. And I went out there and I launched my first product, my first training product, and nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. As in the nobody showed up. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. I felt like I was a failure. I remember that I was under my blanket, and I put the blanket over my head, and I was crying. I was crying because you know when you want to start a business, and then the first time you put yourself out there, you then fail. Like, it's not fun, all right? And these are the things that don't make it to Instagram. Like when you actually failed, it was just bloody, all right? But anyway, that's what happened to me. I failed the first time, and I still remember that there was an event like this, all right, and they had gathered speakers to come and speak, and I gathered myself, after crying, after I finished crying, what I was finishing, I gathered myself and I went for this event, and there's something that the speaker there said that just changed my mind. Like it flipped my brain. So he was talking about how he had failed, all the different times he had failed. And when I listened to him talk about all the different times he had failed, I say, what's my own? How many times have I failed? I'm just starting. I gathered myself again and I launched this training program. And let me tell you, the second time I tried it, it was better. All right. But I learned a mistake that I did not know before. I know that even no matter how great your product is, no matter how great your idea is, you can't wait for people to discover you. You have to market it. You have to talk about it. All right. So when I started marketing and talking about it and overcoming my shyness or, my fear of putting myself out there, I launched the training program again. And this time I had 4 clients. In fact, that workshop, I think I was happier than them. I was happier than them because I was like, hey, so this idea can work. This idea can work. All right. So we had the first workshop and I now started getting comfortable with marketing. All right. So if you're here and saying I'm not a marketing person, I'm an introvert, it's okay. Don't worry. All of us started from being shy. All right. We are introverts and it's okay. So I started trying to push myself out there. And let me tell you what happened. While I was trying to market my business to get more people, I started getting requests from people who were out of Lagos. I don't live in Lagos. Just in case you don't know, I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I don't live in Lagos. How can I come for this training? Like, I really want to learn this thing. Now, because I couldn't travel to all these different states that they were calling me from, I decided to launch an online course. All right, because I have a tech background, I studied computer science, and so my brain is kind of techie. The way I came up with the solution was to think about designing an online course. And an online course is like a training. Instead of coming to a live class, you can do a video training that people can watch online. All right, this was 2013. It was an experiment. That time, it was not like this where you can be streaming video. That time, before somebody can buy data and then watch video online, even the data was not even powerful. Like, they first of all switched from Edge to 3G. I don't know if you can remember that time, but it was quite some time where video wasn't really strong. So I wasn't sure that people would actually pay to watch video trainings, but it was an experiment. I decided to do it. I launched an online course, and to my amazement, people paid. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. In fact, I still can't believe it now, that you can package knowledge, your expertise, anything that you know so well into a training program and put it up online, and people will actually pay for it. All right. So today I want to share this up. Since I discovered this thing, I've been talking about it because it's almost like an opportunity that a lot of people are not aware of. I don't know if you know that you can monetize knowledge online. Let me know in chat comment section. I'm looking. If you can, tell me yes or no. All right, tell me yes or no. Tell me yes or no. If you know that you can package your knowledge, your expertise, anything that you know, your gifts. All right, the thing that you just know how to do. If you're a crafty person, you can package this into a training program and sell it to people online. Let me know if you know this. All right. So I realized that a lot of people did not know this or did not think it was possible for them. All right. See, Nasi says, yes, I do. Or Motoke says, no, I don't know. All right. So if you are here and you don't know, it's fine. It's fine. It's one day all of us to know something. All right. So the day this expert opened my eyes, and let me tell you, I I started launching this online course. And I kept on launching the online course. So it's something that I did once. I created the training and I put it up online. And all I had to do was just to market it. And it kept on making me money. The only reason why we stopped promoting that particular course is because Ankara accessories stopped raining. All right. If Ankara accessories was still raining, I'm telling you, I had an asset that I could have been selling over and over and over again. So I've gone on to create more online courses, and these are courses that I created maybe in 2016 till today. I'm still selling them. All right. And so what I'm really here to share with you is that as you're seated here, you already have knowledge, you already have some expertise, you already have the skill set that you can package into a digital course and sell it, especially in these COVID times where we now have social distancing, and there's a limit to the kind of businesses that you can do. All right, now is the time that you can actually start an online business monetizing your expertise or your skills or your knowledge. So I want to hear in the chat section a big yes if you think you can do it, no if you think you cannot do it. Let's tell me big yes if you think you can do it, no if you think you cannot do it. I want to know the no's. Tell me if you look, I'm only here for about how many more minutes do I have? Just be honest with me and let's deal with the issues. If you feel like you can't do it, tell me no and tell me why you feel you can't do it. Let me address it here now. All right. If you feel you can't do it, I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting for you. If you feel you can't do this, in the chat section, tell me why and let me address it now. Tell me why. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for your answers. If you feel that you cannot do this thing, I'm telling you, if you feel you can't do it, be honest with me. Or maybe I won't call your name. I won't call your name. Just tell me. Let's get to it now. I'm waiting. Grace says, yes, I can. Fantastic. Tonya says it depends on the business idea I have. No, Tonya, I'm asking you a very straight question. Do you feel like you can package your knowledge into an online course? Yes or no? Do you think you can do it? I want to know if you think you can do it. Yes or no? Simple yes or no. Simple yes or no. Simple. I'm not getting any yes or no. All right. Nkechi says yes, she can. Fantastic. If you feel you cannot do it, I want to address people who feel they can't do it. If there's nobody here that feels they can't do it, I'm going to move to the next topic. All right. Linda says yes, I can if I have a business idea. All right, so let me tell you the way this one works. The business idea itself is to turn your knowledge into an online course. That's the business idea. The next question now becomes, what do I actually teach? What do I know? What can I package? What can I monetize? All right, and I'm going to lead you through some exercises, like it's like a brainstorming exercise, because many times, because we are so good at something, we don't realize we are so good at it. All right, we've taken it for granted because it came so easily to us. All right, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and these questions are just to, just to trigger your mind, trigger your mind, see what comes up. All right, so number one, what question do people always ask you? What question do people always ask you? If they keep asking you, how did you lose weight? How are you able to do this networking? How were you able to optimize your LinkedIn page? How were you able to make these accessories? How were you able to pick this anything? And they keep asking you all the time. Any question they keep asking you all the time, any question that they keep asking you all the time, that is already something that you know. You understand what I'm saying? It's already something that, many times when people want to start businesses, we always feel like we're not good enough, we're not experienced enough, we're not knowledgeable enough, we're not, like, you can come up with a long list of reasons why you're not enough. But look, if you are over 25, you have at least 2 years experience mastering something. So like I shared with you, even though I launched my first online course when I was 26, I had been making accessories since I was 17. So forget about how young I was at that time. I had 8 years experience with creating accessories. I could make accessories in my sleep. Like I can make accessories, my hands would just be moving and I'm watching TV. I had done it so well that I had mastered that skill. So it wasn't a question of my age, it was a question of the skills I had mastered. All right. So there are some of you, no matter how old you are, there are some things that you know that people who are even older than you don't know that thing. All right. So if you identify that thing and you package it as a training, you can sell it online and make it and start a business selling it. All right. And many times we don't even realize what it is because we've taken it for granted. But if you ask yourself, what question are people always asking me? What compliments am I always getting? All right. What compliment am I always getting? I'm going to give you a compliment. You just say, oh, thank you. You even say thank you. You don't let's be honest. We don't really always say thank you. When people give us a compliment, we just give one other reason about it. It's not such a big deal. You don't sit down to listen to the compliment and take it in. Because if you're listening to what people are always complimenting you about, what it means is that there's something that you're doing so well. All right, there's something you're doing so well. But because we are not paying attention, we don't listen. Like I had one of my clients who came to me to say she wants to teach an online course on a particular topic. All right. So one of the things that I do with my clients is that before you go and launch the online course, we test it. We say, is anybody going to pay for this thing? Before you go and start, doing hey, is anybody going to pay for it? All right. So we did the test and we found that nobody was going to pay for it. And after they asking her, what else do you know how to do very well? What else? I don't know what else I know how to do very well. This is the only thing I know how to do. I said, no, let's just calm down. Let's calm down. Let's think about it. I asked her a series of questions. And she said, each time I make a presentation, I always get a standing ovation. People stand up and clap for me. I said, each time you give presentation, people stand up and clap for you. How many standing ovations have you got? She said, Stephanie, I can't even remember. I said, wow. Meanwhile, some other people can't even stand in front of an audience to speak. One. Number two, when they get from another audience, they don't know what to say. Two. Number three, when they finish speaking from morning to night, they don't get standing ovation. You get standing ovation, you cannot even remember how many times. And this thing is, I'm telling you, is that the things that are so great about us, especially women, we take it for granted. Like it's not a big deal. Meanwhile, so many people who don't know half the things that we know, or who don't know how to get the result that we are getting. Now, this my client launched a course on this topic, and it sold. Not only did it sell, years after, till today, as I speak to you, she's still selling this course. Because she had identified something that she knows how to do that other people don't know how to do, and they are willing to pay to learn. All right, are willing to pay to learn. So number one, you find what you're good at. Number two, you find whether people are willing to pay to learn this thing. If the answer is yes, this is the beginning of a new business for you. And the reason why I like this online business thing is that you can actually be global. Like you can be global. Like you don't even have to price in Naira. You can price in dollars because you're going to get customers from everywhere. When I discovered this thing, I almost it's a bit difficult to wrap your mind around it. All right. When you start seeing customers from UK, Zambia, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Cameroon, Kenya, like all sorts of countries coming to you, and because they want to learn from you. They want to learn from you. All right. So I'm still going on. The next question is to ask yourself is, what exciting goal have you achieved? What exciting goal have you achieved? Something that you did it, you were so happy, and you were like, yes, I achieved this goal. When you actually arrive at a goal that you have achieved, and you're so proud of yourself. That's something. That's something. That's something. Any goal that you're able to crush, all right? Any goal you're able to crush, you can package that thing, that goal, how you did it. Because believe me, there are a lot of people who are trying to learn it too, who are trying to achieve that goal. Year after year, it's prayer points. They're not been able to achieve it. You're here crushing the goal up and down. That thing, your system of packaging, of achieving the goal, you can teach it. All right. Number 4, what tools do you know how to use very well? All right. So you might be very good at using Canva. I don't know if you know how to use Canva, but the tutorials are some maybe for us they are easy to use tools. Very easy that you don't even imagine that anybody can be struggling with this thing. And that's always the problem. Because you're so good at something, you don't think that other people need it. That's always the problem. All right. You think that the way you are, everybody is like that. God has given us different gifts. We all have different gifts. We all have different skill sets. All right. And no two sets of people are exactly the same. And this is your goal. No two sets of people are exactly the same. I have my own strengths, but I also have my own weaknesses. And because I have my weaknesses, I can learn from you. I can't pay for your course because I don't know everything. I only know the one that I know. All right. You too, you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses. And what you find is that if you pick the thing that you're so good at, that's technical skill or any tool that you're so good at, and decide to teach it, people will come to you because they want to learn from you. And this can be a legit business for you. All right. Another thing I want to say is that sometimes you can find yourself researching on a particular topic. You spend so much time researching on a particular topic. All right. When you find yourself doing that, it's because you want to know more. You want to know deep. You want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, as you go deeper and deeper and deeper, guess what? Some people have not even reached level 1. All right. It's like if it's a staircase. Some people are in level 5. Some people are in level 10. Okay, let's say you're in level 5 and you have been doing research to get to level 6 or level 7. Guess what? Somebody is in level 1. Somebody is in level 0. So that topic that you're always researching on, that topic is something that you can actually teach because you have gotten to level 5 when some people are in level 0 or in level 1. All right. So I always share this post. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. I don't feel like I should be teaching. And what I always say is that, look, it's not when we think about this expertise, you're waiting for somebody to come and give you a certificate and say, oh, my daughter, you are now an expert. All right. And if you know something so well that you can do it in your sleep, you know it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know it. Like that. I don't know how to explain it. Today I teach people how to learn online courses, but nobody has ever given me a certificate. I just know it because I've been doing it since 2012. If you wake me up from sleep and ask me any question, I can answer you. All right, because there's something that experience you get from experience. I have done it. I don't need anybody to give me any certificates. All right, but I know it. And because we know it, we can teach it. So I feel like there are a lot of training programs that are actually missing, especially in this part of the world, because people who should have taught them are not teaching it. Meanwhile, all of us, like the younger generation, for instance, we are then struggling because we don't have anybody to show us, to teach us how do we do this, how do we do that. We are making the same mistakes that other people have made before and have gotten over it. But because there are not enough training programs, you see, many of us are stuck. And we are now having to learn from trial and error. All right. But look at you at the level that you are. If you decide to quit the training program for the person coming after you, so it doesn't take them 5 years, 10 years before they succeed in that field. They can get results at a shorter time. You know what will happen? We will have more successful people because there are more training programs. All right. We'll have so much more successful people. I'm going to start and I saw some questions that I want to quickly answer. Otoke says, how can I package my skill? I'm coming, Toke. Am I still live? Okay. Phoebe says, how do I test if people are going to pay for it? Fantastic. I'm coming. I'm going to get to that very soon. The next thing I want to talk about is what software or web application do you know how to use very well? What software or application do you know how to use very well? If you're a techie, you're sitting on gold. Oh, you're sitting on gold. Oh, I say you're sitting on gold. Oh, all right. Oh my, I'm not a musician. Just take it like that. But I could not help busting out in songs. All right. The next one is, what skill have you mastered? All right. If you're somebody who mastered gardening, or you've mastered, how to play the piano, anything you know how to do very well, you can definitely package it into a course and start teaching. All right. So now I'm going to quickly answer the 2 questions that I got in the chat section, which is, how do I test my knowledge, and how do I package? I'm going to quickly answer. I'm seeing that Joyce here. Joyce, how many minutes do I have left? All right, my time is almost up, guys. But let me quickly answer the question. Let's get the question. How do I test? Look, it's very exciting. This answer is very exciting. The only way you can test if anybody will actually pay for your online course is to sell it. Cash is the only true test. Let me tell you something. Cash. Until somebody pays you money to learn from you, there's no way. There's no other way. There's no crystal ball. There's no there's no way to know. Another person will pay for God. All right. It's until you actually sell it.
Oh, yes.
What I'll say is, package your course, sell it. If you're going to fail fast and move on. Like, when you fail, don't type the word to your chest. Like, it's not personal. It's just that people don't want to pay for to learn that particular skill. Find something else that they can pay for, that they want to pay for. All right. Don't feel too, oh my God, they paid, I'm finished. You're not finished. You are not finished. All right. This is just every entrepreneur goes through those every entrepreneur goes through those moments. Anyway, but look, I only had 15 minutes. My time is up. But what I'm going to say is that if you really want to go in depth into it, please, you can grab a copy of my book. I have a book called Knowledge is the New Gold, and it's on the link on my bio on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @StephOB, and the title of my book is Knowledge is the New Gold. So in that book, I wrote everything. Like, I poured my heart out because I'm very passionate about it. You can see how my voice is gingering. Just that they don't allow me to enter it to you. But anyway, the book is here. Knowledge is the New Gold, and it has all the page, everything about how to turn your knowledge into a profitable online course. All right. Thank you. Thank you
so much. Stephanie, the queen of online courses. Look, someone said, Grace said, Steph is a complete vibe, and that's just the truth. You're such a vibe, and it's such a delight to learn from you. As someone who's bought your courses, I've bought your programs, and I've learned from them, and I've applied my learning, I would say to anyone who is listening, go to Stephanie Obi's page and buy something from there. You can't go wrong with the information. Steph, it's amazing how you simplify, which is something I always say to you. The way you simplify the information is amazing. Thank you, Steph. Don't go anywhere. Just stay backstage for a moment. While we'll bring all the speakers back to say our final goodbyes. Everyone, please, round of applause for Stephanie Obi. Amazing. I can almost tell that there are people here now who have thought before today that maybe you don't have anything to say to create or any information to use to create your online course that you can sell, but your mind is already working overtime and thinking, okay, maybe I can sell this, maybe I can create this. Oh, I've raised 4 children. I can create a course on how to raise children in XYZ situation. So there is almost nothing. If you follow Steph, she will show you all kinds of crazy courses that people create constantly. I've been a master of ceremonies full-time for almost 13 years. I made that decision in 2007. And so to give a gift to the world on my 10th anniversary as an MC in 2017, I wrote the book Mastery for MCs, how you can learn to take the stage, work with your clients, work with your audience, how you can properly price your service, and a little bit about negotiation in there. And out of the book Mastery came a course called Talkademy. Talkademy now stretches some of the information in the book, how you can be the best MC ever and collect your money. Collect your money. I'm tired of seeing MCs that don't get a lot of money. They're great on stage. They have the skill, the presence, but no money. And then 2 years after, which was 2019, for my 12th anniversary, I decided to write another book titled Before You Speak, Read This. This is a book for genius public speaking. You have whatever kind of engagement. You want to be the chairman at an event. You want to propose a toast. You want to know how to pitch before investors, or you're going to moderate or sit in a panel, all the answers to what to do is in this book. Before you speak, read this. Do well to visit my website, joycedaniels.net, and buy your copy. I'm also live on YouTube. I have so many incredible videos on YouTube for your enlightenment in speaking, for the development of your message, the sharing of your message, regardless of what you do. And if you want to be a master of ceremonies, of course, there's also information for you. It's been a wonderful time. And before I go, I will call Jennifer from the TW team to announce to us our winner or our winners for the engagement gifts. But I will show you what the gifts are, because I got mine already. One of the gifts is a memorabilia from today's event. Can you see it? It shows, mine says, Joyce, you are winning again. It's from TW. Oh, the light is so much. Let me reduce my light so that you can see it just a bit. Okay. And I also got this fantastic book where you see, oh, today's woman. So these are event-themed TW gifts. And the other gift, so one person will get these two. The other gift is a social media post. TW is going to post about you on their social media platform. If you're excited, put your hands together and say, thank you, TW. So Jennifer is going to come up now and tell us about the winners and more. Please welcome Jennifer from the TW team. Today's woman. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our speakers. You have all been amazing. I've literally been backstage, but I've been trying to get in as much knowledge as possible. Thank you so much for the knowledge you shared. Yes, we're giving away two amazing gifts to two incredible people who have been really participating and giving their comments, helping us manage the comment section and all that. There were lots of people who did participate, but we can only pick two. But if you still want a little something, our new issue is coming out tomorrow. So we're going to be sending the new issue to each and every one of you who did send us an email saying they wanted to register. So we're going to be sending that to you between today and tomorrow, so you get to see it first. But to the winners, we have Nancy Obuekwe and Grace Oladipo. Thank you so much for participating, for your comments. Thank you so much. A few announcements that I'd like to take before I hand over to you, Joyce. Apart from the fact that we have our new issue coming out tomorrow, it's going to be an amazing one. We're also running an amazing campaign. 2020 has shown us that we human beings are very resilient. We have fight, we have power, we have a voice. And so we're running an amazing campaign called the Warrior Survivor Campaign. The cover of our new issue is an amazing woman who she lost some of her siblings and then had to take on all their kids. I think they're about 8 or so in number. So she's raising these kids all on her own. She has an amazing story. It shows you that truly a rose can grow from a rock, basically. So it's coming out, and we hope you guys are going to enjoy the content that we have packaged for you. Also, we have this Warrior Survivor campaign that I just mentioned. If you have a story, if you have survived something, you've pulled out of some kind of scenario, COVID-19, addiction, rape, sexual abuse, anything like that, please by all means send us an email to pulse@twmagazine.net or send us a DM. However you can reach us, by all means reach us. We'd love to feature your story, and you could possibly be on the cover for September. So that's an amazing thing that we're offering. Also, you can advertise with us, send an email to pulse@twmagazine.net. We're always available to respond and to help you. We have amazing packages, especially now that businesses are quote unquote struggling. So we have amazing packages to help you through this difficult time. So yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and we have another webinar in the works. It's totally on finance, but we'll let you know a little bit more on that in the coming weeks. So that's about it. So congrats to our winners.
Thank you. Congratulations to Nancy and Grace. We celebrate with you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all for coming out. We're so glad. If you were not here, the webinar would have been us talking to ourselves, but then would have still learned a lot from each other. Allow me to welcome all our speakers back, starting from our first speaker today, Ms. Nkiru Olumide-Ojo. Thank you for being here and blessing us with all that you did. Thank you. Let's welcome also Ms. Uju Obuekwe, who was our second speaker. Thank you so much. Women have taken value away.
Honor.
Ife Durosinmi-Etti is also coming up back on stage. Thank you for being an awesome speaker, going through grants like we've never heard before. Thank you. Stephanie Obi is also still here with us. Welcome back, Steph. Thank you for shedding light on online courses. We make you a promise. I'm speaking on behalf of all the people who are in the comment section. We are going to make you proud because we'll make use of the things that you have taught today. And of course, we'd like to welcome the founder of TW, today's woman, Adesua Oyenokwe, to join us up on stage. Jennifer, you're there, so please come back up on stage. Let's say goodbye to all our participants. Let's just wave at them. Okay, before we wave, we'll all just come closer to your camera and smile for a group photograph.
Sorry, 1 second, Joyce. Sorry to interrupt. If the two winners, if you could send an email to pulse@twmagazine.net, just indicate that you're a winner, and we're going to sort out your prizes and send them to you.
Okay. It looks like we lost Ife, but this is good
I
enough.
know both
Thank
of
you,
them
everybody.
personally. They're not going to miss their prizes.
Stephanie, you've challenged me. Challenge me. We've been talking. Thank you, everybody. Nkiru, I'm so grateful. In fact, that you guys are through Uju. What do I say? But to dance. And as for Stephanie, don't do this to me again. I will not disappoint you. And Joyce, thank you. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And for the TW, thank you. Thank you for all those who have sat through this from 4 p.m. Gosh, you guys are warrior survivors.
Warrior survivors. Awesome. So let's wave to all our participants and say goodbye. See you again soon. See you in the different coaching sessions. Go to the Instagram page, follow all our speakers, buy their books, buy their programs. Keep waving and say goodbye. Let's all say bye. Say bye. Come off mute. Say bye. You can hear us. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye. Bye. Bye.